Oh, morning, good evening, good afternoon. How we doing? What's up, Hirsch? Bonjour. I'm on a little bit later today. It should be right. Should be right. Hopefully see some regulars jump in at some point. Right, let's just see if this is working. It is working. Awesome. Oh, I think I'll wait for people to fall in, but in the meantime, I'm going to crack on. Perfect. What's up, Milo? How you doing? I just quickly before I came on, I saw your revised typewriter. Looks awesome. With the change, it just made it all stand out quite a bit, didn't it? Right, I'm going to crack on while I wait for everybody else. I got a concept of, people have asked me loads of times for snowy mountains. So I created another highlights brush in the same sort of painting style I've been doing a lot lately, but more so snow base. And to get it right, it took a little while just to adapt the brush and just see if I can make it work and fit with the correct style. So yeah, just wanted to see if I could make a brush in the end that would give that snowy effect, and it did. It worked out pretty well. So I'm going to show you, demonstrate that today, and crack on from there. What's up, Ice? And Jay's here as well. How you doing? I don't know why my phone's running an update, but it is. What's up, Christy? How you doing? How are you feeling as well? More to the point. Foreground, main one here. You're getting there, you're getting there. Okay, cool, cool. Should be enough. If you're asking me how I am, Jay, I'm very good, thank you. I've just finished watching the Netflix series that we literally just finished watching it before it came on, of Inventing Anna. That's pretty good if you got some time to watch that. I'll start with my peak actually. I'm going to start at the peak instead. And create another little peak. I want to try and sort of get more comfortable with creating mountains that are not so detailed in a sense. Just letting them be a little bit more sort of swooping lined. Don't have to always give them like lots of little bumps and lumps, to be honest with you. Just creating a shape like that is more than enough that we need in order to get this working. You really love the mushroom tutorial, and hubby asked if he could get it tattooed. Well, if you're, not that you need it, if you needed any of my permission, you go for it. Send me as long as I get a photo of it. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, I just want to try and just get these snowy mountains in. See what we can come up with today. And I already have sort of been practicing with this brush I made. I say made, it's just an adaptation of the last one. I don't want to overdo it or underdo it, I guess, with the expectation of it, but it's an adaptation of the first one, but with the changes just really give off a snowy effect, super quick and easy. It looks pretty cool. Why is that not filling in? What the heck? Let's just quickly close that and start again. Where do I get to? Where do I get to? This one. This one. There we go. It's working now. You was watching that too, which Inventing Alice. It was. I was hooked right to the end of it. To be fair, it's actually really good. I didn't really know what to expect when we first put it on, but in the end, I was very, very hooked. Let's just come down here and let's just redo this. The Bob Ross one was my sort of highlight for my week of what I watched. It was awesome, just to sort of get to know that character a little bit more. I say character, but the guy a little bit more. Because I love his style. Like, his style's sick. I should get him to put his signature on it too. That'd be pretty cool. I don't have a Joel Create signature as of right now. Maybe I should, I don't know. Now, I did already draw this out once, so I just want to kind of sort of mimic a few things that I liked in it. Started to watch the Snowpiercer, the train one. That's pretty good. Oh, cool. You watched the Bob Ross one. So I watched it because everybody was talking. Well, not I say everybody. We were talking about it last week on stream. I thought, well, I'll make sure I watch it because I think Kat mentioned, you know, it felt really bad for the sun and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to watch this now, and totally agree. Totally agree. The only cool, I mean, the thing is, like, the positives out of that, which is very little, is like people still obviously admire the guy for his style and his art, and that's something that they could never take away from him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something that will always stay with him forever. So, style inspired loads of people, and probably a lot of people on like YouTube, I would imagine, you know, with his sort of way of explaining things. I find myself explaining things sometimes and I think, Jesus, that's a little bit Bob, you know, just be like, and then you just want to, you just find yourself explaining things like, oh, you just want to have a swooping line, you just want to let that run out, and your beautiful little, and just being sort of complimentary to the stuff that you're doing kind of feels a bit Bob Ross. I don't like that one because I don't like this. That's the problem. I want to make this a little bit steeper. That's the difference. That's the problem chart there. Did you guys see the little tip I just posted over on Patreon regarding the mountains? Happy mountains. Oh, sorry, Milo's comment is literally bang on there. Happy for the tips on the happy mountains on Patreon. Very helpful. I thought it was a nice little touch. I just saw it and I thought that would help a lot of people with just if you could practice those individual shapes, that would be awesome. And then you can get a real idea for what you can try and incorporate when we draw mountains in the future and what to sort of look for. I think sometimes people just need something to just use as a visual guide and it will really help a lot of people out. So, what's up, Sissy? I hope you're doing very well yourself. How's things? How is life with you? And your son as well? Right, I think that's good for a minute. Now this is all going to come together quite quickly. My concept being is that it's a little bit more of like mountain above the clouds sort of vibe. So let's try and get that in. So let's maybe make the ground the correct color first. Which I think I ended up making it like this color. That's cool. Let's do the background. Add in this color here. So yeah, mountain above the clouds is what we're going for. So a little bit of that greeny color, a little bit of this sort of yellow from the right hand side, just creating a nice sort of light source from over there on the right a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. Let's work straight onto the sky in the background. Do you think his voice was sexy? The old Bob Ross? I mean, he obviously attempted it, like, to be that way. I think that's why we've got so much in common, you know? It's just natural things like that. You know, just... sometimes you're born with it, I guess. And Sissy says, it's going okay. He's doing okay. Thank you so much for asking. Well, every time I see your name, it's the first thing that comes to mind straight away. And as always, I hope he has a speedy recovery. And I hope as well, it's not too, it doesn't become too much for yourself as well. I appreciate it's also a lot for you to be going through as well. Let's just chop away, creating these nice little streaky bits in the sky. So these are some like in the distance, of course. Nice big clouds there. Get back in here, start erasing a little bit more. That's not so bad for a minute. We'll leave it like that for a sec. Although that top area could just do with being sliced down a little bit. Get rid of that top edge. That's cool. Sorry, so short and sweet. I have to run off, have a meeting. Have a great evening. Have a lovely day yourself, Christy. Enjoy the rest of your day at work. Right, let's carry on with the rest. So starting from the back. We'll do our normal routine. And I want this to really become like a routine that I start to sort of instruct in my tutorials quite frequently, of course. Just so that everybody understands exactly what it is that sort of we're aiming for. I think that colour is slightly wrong, by the looks of it. That's not dark enough. That needs to be maybe like this colour, but lighter. I think I did this the last time. Yeah, I did. And then we grab the hazy colour for the sky. Let's blend that out towards the bottom. Now these mountains here, let's do some really basic. Tell you what, let's work on the main cheese. Let's work on the main cheese. So these empty layers. Right, so what this brush is going to do, we've got two different colors and we've got the snowy high brush. Now, let me just sort of try and do it straight off the bat and you'll see the texture that this brush is going to try and give us. But we also want to sort of work out where things are. Are things in front of things? Are things behind certain areas? And do our highlights as always. So I'm going to work on the main cheese here. And you can start to see straight away when I start to brush this through, there is a sort of a grain on the brush, and the brush itself is then giving us like a really speckled sort of snow look to it. And this starts to really come to life in a second. And we start to blotch in some big coloured areas here. Maybe let that just run down. I'm going to go over some of the techniques here to try and create a beautiful, beautiful snowy peak. That's coming together quite nicely. I'm just taking a look over at the one I drew before, just trying to gauge some of my ideas that I've already put together. And then what we do is we then go in with a blue on the opposite side. So it's like a blue, slightly washed out blue. We just let that colour just run off of these highlighted areas down. Now that's probably a little bit too heavy with the pressure to start with. I'm going to get back on that quite a bit. Just create that shadowed side of things. Sweating I'm already. So by adding this in on the opposite side, you are starting to you're adding snow, but you're giving it a very obvious sort of shadowed side. And we're still using the kind of streaky motion before, because we don't necessarily always want to cover everything. We always want to just sort of highlight certain things, put things in front of other things, such as this peak now quite clearly sits in front of this one. We let that color just run out a little bit, and like I've sort of been teaching recently, we'll go in shortly with the eraser and start clearing bits out. Let's reduce that brush size down quite a bit smaller here and just create a little area in behind that mountain. It's already looking pretty striking, which looks pretty cool. And then we just switch it back to the bright color, which is just white in this instance, and start painting in some brighter tones on top of that blue. So you start to really define the edges a little bit more. So a nice white peak at the top there. Maybe I run this up and into here a little bit more, define that edge. Some beautiful sharper lines. Creates like a rugged ridge there. I don't want them to be so quite sort of staggered, so I'm gonna just create some extra little peaks there on that edge and let that run out. To really end up with some beautiful looking little mountains there, we just add in a little white peak onto here. Just a little one for a minute. That looks beautiful. And we would end up with like a really sort of stunning side of that. And then you just go in with the eraser and just do exactly the same thing. So use the eraser, and in behind your peaks of where the highlights are, you just start to erase a little bit and darken them up just in behind. Oh, which brush has this gone to? I think it's gone to the wrong brush. Needs to be the snowy. Yeah, there we go. What's up, Kate? How you doing? Okay, I'm just demonstrating some of the snowy brush that I've just put together, like a textured snowy brush, which is coming soon. But just now trying to just show how you can very quick and easily define the mountain range. And people have asked me lots of times recently for a snowy style tutorial. So here we are with this little, look at that, look at the difference just here you end up making, and you just create that real rocky side of it. Do the same maybe here as well. Just create some more rocky areas, and I think I was a bit bolder with the one I did beforehand. You know, I'd chop into here, maybe even with a bigger brush. Just need to get rid of some of this color, create more of a streakiness, but we're going to add clouds and whatnot down towards the bottom anyway. I just want to sort of blend that out a little bit for a second, because in a minute it's somewhat going to disappear down this end. It's more the top of the mountain we're most interested in. Maybe we just reduce this down and create a nice little ridge line up here, just sort of squiggly line backwards and forwards. It's behind that peak. That looks beautiful. Happy with that. And maybe we run this line, maybe. Should we try that? Doesn't look too bad. No, actually, you know what? I don't like it. It takes away from that. Let's try and be brave. Get rid of some streaks here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We start to create that sort of uneven terrain on the side of that mountain edge. Let that run down. Now I've done this loads of times, as in I've just been practicing this over and over, just doing the same thing, repeating the same steps over and over, and then you end up with something pretty close to that. I think I could go back to the brush maybe and introduce some more white on this top edge here. Then maybe let that run down into there. Same sort of techniques as we did with the mountain, just let your brush sort of swoop down. I think that already looks super striking. What do you reckon? What do you think to that? Look how 3D and just awesome that looks. I'll show you some variations afterwards of some of the other types that I did, but every time you draw the mountain, you can do it in a different style. Like this peak here could have arguably been in front of this one, and if I had have done that, you know, we could have ended up with like a peak that maybe like sort of runs this way instead, you know, and then maybe runs into there and runs down. Yeah, try and do it in one motion so I can undo a boatload of it in one go, but you could end up something like that, which arguably looks better, to be honest with me. To be honest with you, you know, forget it. Let's just do it. I'm going to keep that as is. I'm going to define that in front of that area. But can you see the difference there of just defining what your peaks are between what's in front of what? Do you know what I mean? If I go backwards and we go to where we were, which was that, you immediately see the difference in your perspective. You have this little peak now is around the back, and this is the most sort of closest edge to you. And then you can just really quickly just change that by just painting on your highlight and defining that that edge now sits in front. You end up with this awesome effect. What's up, Marie? Hey. How you doing? How's life for you, Marie? I'm going to go back in and repeat the steps a second. Just going to define these edges a little bit more now that we've sort of changed up the landscape. But the brush itself, when you see it up close, it doesn't... Can you hear the music? Yeah. Yeah. The music itself, not the music, the brush itself looks almost like a charcoal up close. But once you zoom out and you see the effect it gives on the edge of the mountain, it just looks beautiful. Really beautiful. Really pleased with how it came out. I think it's going to look sweet when we do a tutorial with it. I love it. Love that. And then just zigzag the brush up and down sort of the peak areas, and then push it down into the shaded side more than anything. Just create some more realistic looking shapes in there. Awesome. Now I think the only thing that needs to change really is over here. This little peak here is not really getting much love, so it could probably do with switching back to the brush, excuse me, and then just painting in some white on that edge, bulking that out a little bit more. And then let's just very lightly, just very super lightly, just let that run out towards the bottom. As I mentioned, this is going to be like a mountain in the sky sort of look to it, so that's what we're going for. Oh yeah, in NY, helping your parents with a rental property they own. Dog tired. But thinking about you guys. Oh, dog tired, I guess. Yeah, more mountains, more mountains. The brush type, Marie, is a new brush. It's a variation on my highlights brush that I made. But this one here it just makes snow look so quick and easy, because you don't end up with a solid shape, and the grain in there gives you all these little gaps. And if I zoom right in, you can see the sort of grain in there. It's almost quite a vertical sort of style, but it makes snow so effective at a distance like this. Like, you can get some really awesome effects from it. So I'm super pleased with that one. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to work here for a minute and then work my way backwards, because for a second, and do we clip it? Let's maybe just see what we get up with. So it's a mix of the two, but we got a new snowy brush, which is what we were talking about a second ago. So let's just increase the size of this. Let's create some wispy sort of cloud shapes down here. Let that line just run backwards and forwards. I think I need to do the light haze at the bottom first, to be honest with you. Let's just try that quickly. Create a new layer, clipping mask it. Let's haze this out. So for a sec, it's going to look pretty odd, but this is what I meant at the very bottom here. We're not too fussed about the details running out to the bottom, because we're going to completely cover this with clouds. So you can see how now at the bottom all the details just run out, and it'll look awesome. It does look a little bit like charcoal, doesn't it? I think it might, I can't remember what the grain even is on it, but okay, so what I need to do is grab this, but I need to make a slightly lighter version of it, but not quite white. Take that. And let's delete that, do it again. So let's add in some wispy lines down here. So just gonna circular motion, just very quickly, just paint in some clouds just sitting in front. I'll chop away obviously into them in a second. Just let in random little streaks of color for a second like that. Grab the eraser, let's grab the highlights brush and crack on. I don't necessarily sell them, Sissy. At the minute, to be honest with you, the brushes that I make at the minute are merely just to accommodate for tutorials that I want to do. Somebody asked me about this recently. At the minute, like, you know, how I see it is I charge £3 to join my Patreon, and you at the same time you get the tutorial that the brushes were intended for. So for £3 you can get the whole bunch. So I'd only end up charging, like, you know, with that said, you know, can't really charge a great deal for them if I wanted to put them maybe on like Gumtree or something. But no, to answer the question, they're not currently, but they could be in the future. But like I said, I think for the sake of somebody asking, you know, for maybe £4 or £5 or dollars wherever you are in the world, you might as well just join the Patreon and get the whole lot. Do you know what I mean? And at the minute, the types of brushes that I'm making, as I mentioned, are just more to accommodate for the tutorials. The brushes I want to make just going to take a lot more time to build, like sort of big texture packs and stuff like that. That if I was going to ever do something like that, they would go onto like a Gumtree and stuff. Is it Gumtree? Gumroad. Or actually probably my own website. But patrons would get like a discount code of some sort, something like that. But at the minute, I'm kind of just sussing out brushes that I like the look of just for my own personal use, really. Just trying to nail down a style. Obviously, recently, my sort of style regarding sort of painting has changed a little bit. So just trying to nail that down, really. I'm not at all happy with how some of these lines have come out. I think I need to maybe separate them. Let's just separate all of this. I want to create some more random lines in here. The thing is, I asked like patrons before, like, would you ever want me to do like a tutorial with paid brushes and stuff? And a lot of the feedback was no, which fair enough. You know, I'm already providing a service as such, so you know, shouldn't need to spend any more, which, to be honest with you, I do totally agree with. So I think I'm just a balancing act, isn't it? But I appreciate your feedback, guys, saying that you'd be willing to. I just want to make sure and this isn't just a cheesy line, I genuinely want to make sure I'm just making the best possible Patreon tutorials. That's all I want to do. Make sure that they are the best. Okay, that's somewhat getting closer to my vision. What's the difference between quid and pounds? It's the same thing. It's just what we call it. Like, I don't know. It's exactly the same thing. It's just a more casual way of saying it, I guess. 10 quid. £10. Or you'd have a tenner. And Crystal, are you here? Welcome to the family over on Patreon. I'll check that out afterwards. I can't really check it right now. But Crystal, if you're in the chat and you just joined my Patreon, welcome to the family. Wait, oh, why didn't we do any of the sound effects? It's because they're not working, I don't think. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I just want to create these sort of wispy little clouds here, just to really make it look like it does just sit quite high. I think it's coming out quite nicely, isn't it? This is going to be a tutorial, by the way, on Patreon. I'm not sure if it's the end of this month I'm going to do it for, or the next. But I want to definitely make it. The one that we drew last week, folks, as well, will eventually be one. But right now, I was focused on this in the background for so long in terms of the snowy brush. I just want to get this up and out, to be honest with you. So the one that we drew last week, that really cool with the rainbow sort of waterfall, that will come to. Okay, that's coming along quite nicely. Let's just move on for a sec. I want to move to this layer here behind, which is this one here. And this just has some really basic shadows, highlights on it. Always as a tutorial, exactly. I can't show you anything without you wanting it as a tutorial. I am fully aware of my legal obligation. Thou doesn't showeth us tutorial to designeth without us making it as a tutorial, something like that. Whatever the pledge was. Let's then just crack into here. This will start to really bring the whole scene together a little bit more. Those ones in the back though are a bit naff. Because those, okay, yeah, next time I'm not going to make them quite so pyramidy. You know, I think they could definitely do with some like unique features. Now, if I was to maybe sort of chop away into here, you got to make them a little bit interesting. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream, trying not to make these sort of too detailed and worry so much about the design of mountain sometimes, and just let it be more simple, because you can still do that. But sometimes they've got to have a little bit of something to them, so that you then actually have more you can play with. That looks 100 times better. 100 times. Bingo. Quick and easy highlights in the background there. Oh, sorry. Where am I? Sissy, got to run, can't stay, but wanted to stop by, show some love and support. Sissy, I appreciate you dropping in. Have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are in the world. The T word, lol. Which T word? Would that be T? Oh, no, sorry. I was about to go down a different avenue. Nah, yeah, the T word. That shit. But Marie just straight up 1 week ban. There you go. What's up, Bart? How you doing? Now, those background mountains to me don't quite look right, and I don't know what it is. Has my screen gone to night mode yet? I think no, not yet. Those ones at the back aren't quite dark enough, but they're a bit. Just need to nail this down. What did I do there? Oh, that's what I did. So what we'll do is we'll erase a little bit of this edge over here, and that run out down into there. That looks better. Let's go back to the sky layer. Now, of course, when we come to do this properly, there won't be so much jumping around of the layers and stuff. I'll try and obviously sort that all out, nail down the process, but for now I'm just trying to. That's cool. I love doing these skies like this now, like just the sort of flowing lines down into a corner. They look awesome. What's up, Amy? How you doing? Cool. And then let's go ahead and maybe paint in some maybe grey lines underneath the background layer. So where's all these layers? We got the sky here. Maybe we create a new layer just in front. And we just streak in some darker colour. That'll really help those clouds just sort of stand off a little bit more. And now that I've got two different ways I'm thinking of like wrapping up this particular design when I come to do it. At the minute, I'm still not certain on back here. If I'm honest, maybe the background. Let's just redo the gradient one more time. Because I did it before and this looked a little bit better in terms of, so what layer is this on? What's going on here? What the heck? Yeah, I definitely did this one before and they just seem to sit a lot better. Arguably, maybe there's too many. We could get rid of this one here. Let's get back to that gradient. Let's do that again on the background. What's up, Arturo? How you doing? Good to see you. Alright, you'll be back. You crack on, my pal. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I just needed to lighten that gradient up a little bit more. And then bring the clouds back in. The clouds are maybe slightly too... No, the problem is these back mountains. That's the problem. These back mountains are not dark enough. 2 seconds, folks. Let's just try and squeeze this down. The clouds in the background could definitely do with some work, for sure. It's come out quite nice. That mountain looks sick. Arturo says, hi everyone, I can't stay for a stay, but I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Hope you're also having a wonderful day, my friend. Good of you to drop in. Then the other option I'm thinking of ending this with is 2 different ways. Is potentially doing something along the lines of... I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking either making a sort of peak here, so a mountain side here, like a cliff side, very sort of simple to start with, something like that. And then maybe having like a rock climber climbing it on the left hand side, something like here. I mean, actually, I'll tell you who I could use as a very quick example is Cooper, because there is a Cooper climbing stamp, isn't there? Just as a sort of a silhouette we can use for a second. Flip him this way. It just is an idea as a silhouette, something like that. And then that leaves us with a beautiful sort of 2/3 to the leaf for the background. I think that looks pretty sweet. Or I have my little backpacker here. Right, so it looks like, and I think this will probably be the one to go with. We've got my backpacker here, which I'm just going to pop on some sort of land here. I'm about to make up. So for scale wise, we don't know if that's final yet, but we'll see. And then the other option is like a sort of cliff edge here. Right at the top, like so. So it's almost like they climbed a different peak, looking over at a bigger one in the distance sort of thing. And then add some texture to this too, so... Standard procedure, just block in some color, like that, just chuck it on, around that edge, a little bit down there, just block it in, and grab our eraser, let's use the normal one, just chop into here. You like the Cooper one a bit more? Cooper one would be cool. I mean, do I dare tie that in as a Cooper? Like, make this a Cooper tutorial? I'm not sure. I don't want to. The thing is, it would have to go on YouTube, and the brushes, I really want to keep the brushes exclusive to Patreon for a little while. But something a little bit like that, and then maybe you could get a bit sort of creative with maybe dropping in some snow up here. I'll do it on a separate layer just in case I don't like it. Just adding in some snow up here. Not sure if I'm going to like it up here because it's going to be quite a large area that's going to be covered in it. You're going to see so much of this grain, but then when you get it back there, it, you know, it fits in nicely. Do you know what I mean? So let's just see. Obviously, that's just very basically drawn in for a second. Chop away at the edge of it. This is like a little lullaby, this song, isn't it? It's going to knock me out in a minute. It's just chill music. I tried to use Spotify music last week and I got another little message from YouTube afterwards. What are you doing? It's the final time now. I'm not going to do it again this next time. You like the second option? I think it looks pretty cool like that. And something just really clean like that. Maybe I need to sort of bear in mind what I wanted to do down here. I really wanted to have some wispy clouds like here. But how I've done it at the minute, it wouldn't allow it. I've kind of like added too much. Where have I added this then? To here. I think they're fine, those lines. It's actually like, where is this extra set of lines I've mysteriously added in? Oh, okay. Then we can go back, turn that layer back on, and turn this layer back on. Maybe just feather out some of these down here. That looks cool. And then let's just make a separate layer. Highlights, wispy clouds. No Spotify, they get into trouble. I mean, it was by a guy called Sam Harris. He creates, well, he's created Stream Beats, the company. I was playing Stream Beats. Nah, didn't like it. Next day. Nah, Joe, you've been playing music you shouldn't be playing. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. What now? You get that warning through. You're like, yeah. Someone's made a copyright claim against your video. I'm like, who on earth has made a copyright claim against my videos? They're my videos. Yeah, live stream. Okay, so that looks kind of cool, just chopping away into these, create them kind of wispy lines. Maybe get back to that layer there and just sort of paint in some streaks underneath. Just, I want it to make it look like it really is like above the clouds. I think it does that. I think it does enough. The main focus of this is that, of course. Now, I did it before and I did some different, this is what I wanted to show you, is some variations on the exact same style. So there's that one, and I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll copy that for a sec. But kind of towards the point of what I drew over or posted over on Instagram. This is the one with the multiple variations in it. Yeah. Okay, this is another variation, so I'll paste this at the top. Hang on, let me just grab all the different ones that I've done. You can see that it's like drawing mountains constantly and just creating different, or doing it multiple times and different attempts at it. Your mountain will look different every time. And I'm trying to like see patterns in which ones I do and do not like, so that when I come to do this properly at the end. Oh, hang on, what have I done here? Yeah, this one. Paint that. Is that in there for a sec? Okay, 2 secs. Okay. So that was, which one was this? This was today's. Okay, so that's what we did today. That sort of mountain. We got a beautiful sort of 3-peak there on the side. And then going to layers, switching it to a different one. So this was a different mountain set, obviously slightly leaning more towards the right. And this is sort of where I was working a little bit more with the, just understanding the texture of it a little bit. So there's less sort of shadow detail in there, whereas I've done lots of shadow detail in there today. And then another one that I did yesterday night. And this one was creating like random sort of more vertical ridges, really sharp edges in there. But just, you know, I was redid the whole tutorial multiple times and just see which one I like the most of out of all of them. So that I got some more ideas. So that's today's. And I think arguably it's just something about the colors I've used in this one look quite good with the wispiness at the bottom. It makes it really does look like it's through the clouds. I've done something slightly different in the sky and I need to work out what that is. And then this is one that I did, yeah, just more definition into here. So just redoing things a lot of the time, over and over in different variations, always does the trick. So like I could redraw today's and it would look completely different, but also just trying to make sure I get the mountain look I want. And that's pretty much everything that I want to try and achieve with it. I think the sky just needs to have some work on it, and I don't know, what did I do differently in there? That's more white than anything, that's why. I've got less straight. Okay, let's go back. That's a good question. Where is everybody? I don't know whether the streams need to be more of like a bi-weekly thing now. I don't know. I do not know. I know a lot of people obviously like them, but I don't know. We'll see. Variations do give more choices, absolutely. Also, you do things by accident, as our good friend Bobby Rossi would say, happy accidents. And you keep hold of them then the next time you go and do it. You actually repeat it next time, you know. This is the only thing I was planning on doing today, by the way, regardless. So I'll gonna keep making some variations on these clouds, just seeing if I can get the look right. And keep streaking through here. Some white this time. Let's just block out some areas straight away. Now the white looks super strong. Happy little accidents, absolutely. See, that looks a lot nicer, and I didn't go up as high this time. I let the clouds stay lower. Let it just sit closer towards the top there, which I quite like the look of in this one. Now I know they're a little bit brighter because we went in with white, but that could also be toned down quite easily by just running the pen through it, just taking away a little bit of the color to it. I discovered a lot of things in Procreate by accident. 100% me too. That glow that I always typically do for like suns in the background, that was a happy little accident. That wasn't planned. I just blurred it out and put the add effect on it, and it always looks awesome. It looks like a more realistic sunset, you know? And Jay says, okay, Joe, when you drew the bonsai tree, where you're looking at your bonsai for reference, just tiny little things. I had a different one that I was looking at online. But this is a slightly different one because this one here, it's branches sort of point upwards rather than horizontal. But a little bit, not too much. But, slightly different style, I guess. It's growing up. It's growing quite nicely, isn't it, in the corner there? You don't get a lot of light, but it seems to be doing all right. And then our little sort of mountain climber can have like a light sort of coat of colour on him. Just a little bit on this edge. Not so much there. Just a little bit up and down that edge. That looks loads better. Got a nice little sort of little bit of light on it. Just a little bit of light, and that just helps just sort of bring them into the environment a little bit more. The IKEA bonsai. The real bonsai. It's definitely a real IKEA. Oh, hang on. Yeah. No, not that one. I think that looks a little bit better. No, that looks so much better. You get way more of the sort of cloudiness at the bottom. That looks loads better. Now, could we introduce something up here, like, I don't know, something to depict wind somehow? Ooh, yeah, what if we made it kind of like... No, we can't make it snowy, it's above the clouds. It doesn't make any sense. I accept it. Listen, it's plastic. It's plastic. It's not me who's got to accept it. So there was that approach with that one there, and then kind of that approach. Both look cool. Both have their benefits. I mean, the other one, do you want me to show you the other one I did? So keep in mind, like visually, this. So this is arguably what I'm going to do, but this is another variation that I ended up doing. Now this one, I went in a totally different direction, and it's not finished, it's nowhere near finished. But just messing around with the concept of adding in some land, should I say. I don't like the scale of it. I feel like the land should be a lot smaller towards the bottom, because it doesn't do justice to the mountain in the background. The heights are all over the place, because this needs to arguably be lower, the mountain probably higher in the background, because it looks like it's near the peak of a mountain and it just doesn't look right. But the concept of creating like a land sort of scape with some trees and stuff, and maybe I was going to go a step further and like introduce something right at the very front, you know, down here, of maybe some more like trees and stuff, like real close to the camera, you know, like something like that, maybe, just to sort of tie it together a bit more. Just bring in a little bit more context in the corner. Now obviously went with a sort of pink sky in that one. It's a bit of a different style to the last one. But that's what I was working on. So let's just go back and jump back to the one I've done for today. Oh, just in case anyone wasn't here last week, this is the design I drew last week. The little waterfall design. There's still a few things I need to keep practicing. There's a little, like I've noticed now, looking in hindsight, that line of the sort of water edge could just do with getting rid of a little bit more. But that came out pretty cool. Still really pleased with how it looked, and the suggestion of the rainbow just looks so good. You like that one, Cat? Sorry. Jump back to it. That's what we drew last week. The sorry, Cat. You're late. You're so late that I'm pretty much done. I was only drawing the one thing tonight. Yeah, you got the bronze badge now. Oh, by the way, if you are a member, those badges are getting updated very, very soon. I want the bronze, silver, now that people have started getting them, I want the bronze, silver and gold to be even better. So they're not just going to be a J now with a different color. They're going to be more of like an emulate sort of style. They're all going to change, I think, from top to bottom. But I just really want those top ones to just really stand out as like a really awesome little badge. But the bronze one you got there looks sick. It looks real clean, real shiny. You love the rainbow. Okay. Okay. Did you or did you not? After what we were talking about. The old, with the... I'll see if you picked that up. Did you manage to do it or not? Oh, hang on. Jesus Christ. So, Kat, while you're here, what you've missed is... So, I'm practicing... I created another brush for creating highlights and textures, highlights and shadows, but this one is merely on mountains. Being snowy mountains. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, especially like snowy sort of themed ones. So this is the design I sort of come up with that I'll probably be making into a tutorial soon. In my mind, I need to keep practicing lots of different variations, and then as I slowly start to continue to grow it, I can get more confident with adding in extra elements here and there. But this one is solely, you know, the main purpose of this is to create that beautiful mountain here. That's the only purpose of this tutorial really. The rest is just sort of filler. So that's what I ended up creating today, and you can see sort of the mountain there, and sort of the textures in there. Okay, you didn't. Fair enough, fair enough. So yeah, that's what I've been sort of practicing with, and as well as just sort of bringing it to life and showing it and demonstrating it in the start of the live stream of how it all comes together quite well. Had a couple of hectic weeks, too many distractions. I hear you. I hear you. I've ended up having to like create like a full schedule for my weeks now. Monday, so when I finish work, on a Monday I would typically go straight into recording YouTube video straight after, and then I'll finish by sort of 5, so that when I'm finished, you know, I can then that's what time Mrs. Cray also finishes work, so then we're done and we can crack on with our evening and, you know, go do dinner or whatever. And then Tuesday I'll maybe draw again for YouTube the following week, so I just draw it in my own time. At the minute that's working out as doing Text Tuesday. Then I don't do much on a Wednesday other than maybe some editing if it's still required. A Thursday again, more drawing content, so that I'm ready then for Friday to shoot for Patreon. Fingers crossed I always shoot, then edit it, get it fully edited and ready to go and uploaded. So yeah, and I know you love mountains, Kate. I know you do. Cat even, sorry. But they're beautiful. Come on, practice with me. Super easy. This brush does all the work. I'm not lying. You can literally put it down and it'll do the whole work for you. I promise you. Trust in me, believe in me. We can do this, me and you. I'll hold your hand, you hold my hand. We got this. How's the hockey cat? Does it start back up now, isn't it? Appreciate that. I did want to just see, do you know what I really did think? And this is kind of up to you. Obviously, ignore the fact at the minute these clouds aren't done, but does that look too simple of a design if I just did wispy clouds down here? You know, like, it's maybe hard to visualize. I can't be bothered to really do it. Or should I? Yeah, let's just do it. I just want to know if it's too simple, you know? Creating some sort of wispy lines here. It's just very simply done for a second. You know, just I'd probably bring it down a little bit as well, but something like that. Hey Joel, you got text Tuesday, Wednesday live. Oh, Wednesday live stream as well. Thursday Patreon, Friday YouTube tutorials. You're a busy boy. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I don't feel there's ever enough time in any day. It sounds gone funny. Oh no, you might have to refresh, Kate. I don't think there should be any problem. Let me move the mic a bit closer because it's probably cutting out a little bit because of the software. Just trying to eliminate any sort of mini noises. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, so typically, I shoot quite far ahead in advance at the minute. So when I shoot a video on a Monday now, that video doesn't go live till not Friday, but the following Friday. That's how far ahead I am. So I've kind of got like a 2-week window in a sense. So every video you see on YouTube was shot 2 weeks before. That way I've got plenty of time in case something goes wrong in my world. And so, yeah, that's something that I just plan for. Gets just way far ahead. And Patreon as well. Like I've already shot and edited the second Patreon tutorial for April. I'm hoping to get the other one done as well this Friday, meaning that all of April's tutorials are completely done. Now it's kind of something I'm going to bring up to patrons soon. And it's a decision that I don't want to make. I just want to hear what everybody thinks about it, and I'll explain. I'll give you guys a very sort of quick conversation about it. It's not something I'm going to do, so it shouldn't affect your sort of decision to be a patron or not. But let's, by the way, just in case somebody joins, let's just put it back to what it was. The addition. So let me just catch up the chat before I just carry on. Starts up in 2 weeks. Done with the season, starts up again in 2 weeks or 3. Fair enough. Fair enough with the hockey for Cat. And Amy says, I've been so busy, I haven't had time to draw anything. I watch the tutorials, commuting to work, and that's about it. That's all right. Get your iPad out on the way to work. Unless you're driving, of course, then I do not condone that in the slightest. You did not hear that from me. And you have got this, Milo. You are absolutely right. Okay, so my conversation I want to have with you guys is for the few of you that are here. At the minute, when I shoot a YouTube video, I shoot it 2 weeks ahead of time, and I then have to wait 2 weeks pretty much until I can upload it onto YouTube, because I have to get everybody's names in there on the slide that's right at the end, you know, for the Patreon sort of shout out. Now, I don't mind doing it that way. The only problem I have with that is it means I can't finish a tutorial, edit it, render it, meaning just complete it, put it all together, and then upload it onto YouTube 2 weeks early. And it means I can't get too far ahead of myself in a sense, because I've always got to go back and do some editing on the computer before it gets uploaded. So I don't want to take it out necessarily. It would be, if I didn't have to do it, it would be a little bit easier. But at the same time, I feel it's necessary to potentially keep it in there. So it's good to hear people's thoughts on what they think, you know, the little screen that shows everybody's names. But I don't really, I don't really mind so much what either way. It just means I have to go back to a video prior and get it changed. Don't you drive with your iPad out, cat. What's up, Jay? Hey, Jay, are you reacting to what I'm saying there, or what are you wowing at? And Marie says it won't hurt your feelings if your name isn't there. Okay. I mean, Sunday shout would always happen still, you know, on Instagram. It just means your videos could go way up in advance. It's like, again, having... On Friday, I'll have shot all the Patreon videos for this month. For the whole of April. And I can get way further ahead that way. Either way, I don't really mind. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to make a decision right now, but yeah. Why? What did I do, Jay? So, yeah, it doesn't necessarily hold it back. It just means, like I said, it can't be completed and then it can't be uploaded until a day before it's required. So, like, to give you an example, early access to Friday's tutorial went up today. And today, I had to create the slide, put it into the video, render the video, put it all together, then upload the video, that whole process, and let that then process on YouTube as well into HD and 4K, and then it's available. And the only thing that scares me with that is what if I was ill today? If I'm ill today, the content's not there ready to go. Yeah, that's a good idea to put. I don't want. I've seen Flo do it. I just don't necessarily want to copy too much, but it is awesome. I think one thing I would quite like to start doing in the future. I've just realised I've got a tiny little dink in my pen, and I can't imagine it's me biting it, like putting it in my mouth to rest it. That's really quite annoying. There's a little dink in it. Jay, no, I think people's names are going to end. Not names. I think. I've started doing the monthly recap. I think I would quite like to do that, you know, maybe show, you know, the recap of the month and then some hand-picked images from, you know, people who have completed the tutorial and put them in the shout out potentially in the recap. I'm always up to new ideas. Somebody messaged me the other day, I think it was on Instagram, no, it was on Discord, and said, why don't you put in your requirements, why don't you put the canvas size in there? Like, can you start putting it in there? Because I have to stop and listen to the whole video intro when I know I can just skip ahead if I just knew the canvas size and I'd just go download everything from the description. I'm like, okay, fair point. So I started to reduce my intros down a little bit in terms of duration and then pop everything canvas size as well in there. So they are worth listening to still, just in case I discuss, you know, something that pops up in there. But yeah, little changes always happy to be made. It's cool. Listen, I appreciate people thinking, like appreciating the shout outs for sure. And it's what I've done from the very start. So to be honest, like I said, don't give it too much thought. It's not something I said I would make any sort of decision on, and it's more of a conversation piece, to be honest with you. Just general feedback. People are, you know, if it was 100% of people, then it would be fine. Yeah, see, Kat knows what I'm on about. But I know people like to hear, like, it's like people like to hear their names in videos as well for shout outs and stuff, like such as like on live streams and stuff, like getting a super chat or what is a super chat or a donation or anything like that. What's the other one I'm thinking of? Super sticker. You know, people like to hear their names shout out. You know, it's recognition for everything. So I totally hear it, which is why I still do the Sunday shout out. You think about all the other people. I know that there are a lot of people that support other creators and they have huge numbers. You know, we're talking 10 times more than me, 20 times more than me. But I still make sure that we get everybody's names on Instagram every Sunday, all the time, so that everybody's constantly represented on the page at all times within a sort of a week window every time. It's always the latest week, so something I definitely love to do. Because when I first created it, I knew that that's what I liked to do. Live streams is a good idea. You could do like a little credits thing at the end of live streams as well. Yeah, the canvas size is typically 2000 by 2000, but in some examples like these landscapes, I tend to do 3000 by 2000. Friday's tutorial, there is no canvas size. It's just whatever the image that you decide to use is. So early access went up for that today. Excuse me. So yeah. Yeah, Jay, I mean, like I said, this one's 3000 by 2000. To answer your question there about different canvas sizes, this week's tutorial on YouTube is any screen size, depending on whatever photo you decide to use. What can I show you? Should I think if I've got any other bits and bobs I can show you before we wrap up? Anything else? Next month's Patreon tutorials are so cool. We've got a landscape one. We've got an exploding planet, which looks sick, and I hope people really like it. Oh, this is something I drew the other day. It's just like the most basic sketch, but I wanted to try and put it together, but I couldn't really work out a style that I liked. I was trying to visualize what like artistic block looked like. You know, when you're like looking at your canvas and you go, what should I paint? Or what should I draw? This is the guy. This is my little avatar. And to be honest with you, I kind of like the fact that it's kind of simple and just like pencil, because just like his canvas, it's not done yet. It's not started yet. It's not been filled in yet. Now, obviously, there's little things like his line runs through there. It was just a sketch at the time, but I would probably redo it in that same style again with making sure it's just like a pencil design. What's up, Matt? Matt with the super sticker saying good job. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you. Good job. Matt with 2 T's. Why not 3K? Would that affect the number of layers allowed? Correct. Yeah, the bigger the canvas size you go, the less layers you get available to you. So I always typically do 2000 by 2000, so they're good for the gram all the time. So you can pop them on Instagram and not have to worry about sort of cropping them out or your feed or anything. I've got to fix that. Do it for the gram. Looks like Mike Wazowski's little bro. Oh, that. Yeah, yeah. I'm with you now. Right. Well, let's get back to what we were drawing today again. Trying to think if there's anything else I can show you, actually. Oh, do you know what? I tried to replicate the Apple event invite. It's a bit brighter on your screen, as always. But I think it looks kind of cool. I just saw it and thought I have to try and replicate it. I guess it's very up my sort of street. So that was replicated that quite easily. What else have we got? You know the Mario one we did the other day? I did another one. What do you think to that? That would be quite a good tutorial. I don't want to just do, like, I'll probably leave a big break between doing them. But I did this one as well. Having a big canvas size is, well, it depends. The canvas size shouldn't really necessarily make a difference. To me, it's the aspect ratio. Now, the aspect ratio makes a big change because you've got to fill the space somehow. Are you saying love that to... Which one are we talking about? This one? The Mario-ish one? Or are we talking about the Apple logo? Both. Okay, cool. What else do we have? Is there anything that didn't quite make it? These didn't make it. Didn't like it in the end. Something very simple, just something very easy. But kind of like, you could make it into a poster, I guess. Just little things like that. I'll show you another one just very quickly. I was messing around with different versions. It may make it to a tutorial, but it's very simple to do. It's just a very easy one. But just finding a really good portrait photo of somebody face on is ideal. And letting the words just come through. You could even do the whole words as the entire face if you really wanted to, but you're not gonna... It's not gonna look quite right. Mario plant, honestly, I like everything you do. I only roll my eyes when it's a mountain. You're a nightmare. You know, I realise how much I end up drawing all the time. The things that just don't make it. I can't show you anything else. I can't. We are at the limit for what I could show you today. Right, so oh, we're already full cam. Love photo manipulation. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Maybe we'll make that into a tutorial. That'd be pretty cool. Very easy to do. Very easy. Yeah, Kat, you've missed loads and loads. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, folks. We obviously did the, what was it? The snowy mountain design for today. New YouTube video will be out on Friday. It's already up right now. If you are a super or a superstar supporter on Patreon, you can already do the tutorial. And I've already had people send it to me in my DMs on Instagram. It's already flying. And I'm glad you're enjoying it already. Some awesome work already. Obviously, we're done with Patreon tutorials for a sense. Now, Patreon tutorials stick within the month, of course, that they're in, and typically they're on a Tuesday. Now, I think the Tuesday falls on maybe the 4th of April. So I think that's when the next one is. So there's a little bit of a wait, to be honest. But they're going to be cool. Very cool. So we've got a lot to be working on there. Planets so far behind me. So yeah, that's everything from me today. Just a simple, quick one. I say a simple one. Really practicing again with the brush and showing what it can do, and then making sure it's ready to go into a tutorial as and when it comes up. Anything else? I'm going to be doing my monthly recap next week over on Patreon, just to recap the month, and also some of the polls that I've been posting as well. The polls that I've been posting, they're not just for no reason, just to give you something to vote on. It's something I want to grab the information and then put it into a poll and just explain my thoughts and feelings on things, and just try and be really transparent with everybody. all the time, and just, you know, all my decisions I make always run past people. It was like we spoke this month already about sort of the duration of tutorials and what's the limit. And again, I'll bring that back up in the recap, but just trying to make sure we're all on the same page. I want you guys to sculpt what we're after. And Marie says there, if you took a break, Joel, we can catch up. I know, but then I won't hit 20k by the end of the year, and I have to hit 20k by the end of the year. If I'm not hitting 20k by the end of the year, this is a failure, and I'm not going to delete the channel. Let's not say that. But I'd be disappointed if I don't hit 20k at the end of the year. 20k on the end of the year, and more growth on Patreon. That's what we need. 20k would be crazy on YouTube in 2 years. 10k a year for the first 2 years. I'll take that. That's some good numbers. I did the math the other day, and it would work out slightly less than 20k, I think. But I've got to keep going. Got to keep pushing hard. And Marie says, "Then do it then." What do you mean, get 20k? We will do it, hands down. Well, I mean, at the minute we're at 12,300, I think. 12,300, and it's March. So if we keep going, I keep putting some time, like more time into doing extra videos here and there. Not so much Text Tuesday, because Text Tuesday has become quite a lot this month. I want to maybe do like an additional tutorial like every other week, maybe something like that. Text Tuesday's really taken a lot out of me. And Oslim says, hello from Turkey. Hello from England, my friend. Thanks for dropping in. I can't take a break. What you all need to do is take break from your jobs. Take some time off just to do the videos, and then we're all at the same page. But you got to get on the train, otherwise I'm going to leave you. You got to get on the train, all aboard. We're out. That's it, and we ain't stopping after that. We need to work together to have this numbers, Joe. You're damn right we do. We're a team. I always appreciate all your support. Everybody sharing it. Text Tuesday's been really good. Those videos have been really good for the channel. Really good. They have got a lot of views as well, which is good. I say a lot of views. You know, for me, a lot of views, and they're on the channel permanently. That's always the beauty of all this content, is it never gets old. You know, just because the video's 6 months old doesn't mean it's not relevant, you know. It's still there. It's still something to be learned from. Marie says she's on the train. Jay says, I can't just got my job lost. Nah, you got to take. They're going to have to give you some very quick holidays so you can catch up. Right. Oh, hang on. What was that? We can't take a break, Joel. We need to make money to pay for your subscriptions. Well, you're lucky. Well, Kat, you pay for the whole year in advance. You pay for the lot. You're sorted. I suppose unless you're saving your pocket money for when that comes around again in a year's time. Hey, don't you go leaving me, Kat, in a year's time because you can't get time to do the tutorials. I need to see your name there every time. Hey, how's your... Oh, guys, quickly, because I know a few of you are superstar supporters. Your stickers, have you had them? Are you happy with them? Do they look good? And Oslam says, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong as well, but it's Oslam says, I love your work, learning so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. How many tutorials have you completed? Have you done? Are you caught up with nearly all 70 of them? Kat says she would never do that. Yeah, so that's what I mean. The extra tutorials, like sort of mid-early week, would be very short tutorials. Just something very quick and easy to put together. This week, I think even... Oh, hang on, Kat. My sticker is coming in the next batch. Awesome. What was I saying? There's something I was saying. was I about to say? No idea. No idea. Wait, let me read back on that. Oh, sorry. I was about to say I have my first patron that has been a patron for an entire year in terms of like they joined a year ago is what I mean. And it's still a patron, which is pretty cool. That's been going now a year. Right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all being in there. As always, if you're not here, I'm not here. So I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I'll see you again next Wednesday, of course, as always. And have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Morning, evening, afternoon, same thing pretty much, or night. Have a lovely weekend. The tutorial will be out on Friday, so you could go ahead and do that. And I will see you again next week. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.